Okay, welcome back. This will be also due in 11 days. It's a pretty simple one. The drawing is there on the assignment link with a PDF document. So I'm going to start File, New, Part, and I do not care about the orientation and the origin. So I'm going to start with Sketch, Sketch. Let's just go something different, a little right side. And very similar to the double link, we're going to start with the straight slot. And this time I will start on my part origin. Click, second click, third click here. Smart Dimension tool, right off the drawing. Oh, I'm going to escape there again. I need to change this default. I've messed up on this. I need to make sure that's defaulted correctly. I'm going to go back into the sketch and then dimension, now that I have changed this to inch pound second. This will be radius of 1/2 inch, and then a size, a linear horizontal dimension of 1.25. Screen fit, that doesn't screen fit very good, does it? So from here I'm fully defined because, again, I began with the endpoint of my the center of my slot here, which it draws this as a construction line. I began that point as coincident with my origin. So I only needed 2 dimensions. From here, fully defined sketch, I'm going to select extrude. And I'm going to go ahead and use the midplane again. That's pretty key on this assignment. A value of 750 thousandths. That will split this number from my sketch plane both directions for a total thickness of 750 thousandths. I'll start again, sketch, sketch on this face, and I'm going to select the circle. This one, again, I'm on the origin here, so I can select that very easily. For this second arc, I need to, again, bring my cursor, my mouse cursor along the edge, and it wakes up this center. So now this arc is concentric. This circle is concentric with the center mark of this radius edge. I'll smart dimension here one hole off the drawing, 0.325. Select that hole and the other hole and make them whole arc equal in size. And from a fully defined sketch, I'm going to go Features, Cut. Let's go through all. I'm done. And that's a good start. Pretty easy. I've got my base, straight slot, extruded midplane, and then 2 through holes. I'm going to go ahead at this point and add my summary information. Tab, I'm going to go down, and this one is single link. I'm going to save the file as on my desktop, or you can add it now, I guess, in any folder you'd like. So used to doing it as a desktop in the classroom demo, but you can pick and start populating your own folder. With the file name, my last name, first initial, single link. Save. I'm going to start again with a sketch on this face. And I'm going to do another circle here. And then another one waking up this center mark of this edge. It's got to wake up at some point. There it goes. And then smart dimension this size. And if you remember previously, if you have a closed arc, that's a circle, and it will dimension as a diameter. And any arc that is not closed won't be a shaded gray like this. That will dimension as a radius. On the drawing, this is cut in such a way that the part is not a diameter, it's shown as a radius. So I'm going to use the modify box here, and I'm going to go 0.510 times 2, and times is the little asterisk, and enter. And you can see the value here is 1 inch 20 thousandths diameter. I'm going to select here, code control, populate the property manager with these two arcs and make them equal in size, and done. So from here, pretty easy. You can see the arc is just slightly larger than the 1/2 inch straight slot base extrusion that I've done. I'm going to now, from my fully defined sketch, select features, cut. And then there's a value. It's not a blind value. I'm going to go, no, it's blind, but I'm going to change this value to, it shows 750. Oh, there it is, 235 depth. TYP is typical. I'm going to say yes. And that looks pretty good. This is what we're looking for. Now, from here, I have this cut extrusion. I'm going to start not in a sketch, but from the Features tab, let's use the mirror function. And it actually already populated here with our last feature. I'm going to select from this menu here within the graphics window is called the flyout menu. And this blue box is asking me to select a face or a plane. And I can select, if you zoom out slightly, you can select the plane to mirror about. I know this is perpendicular to my cut extrusions, and this is also perpendicular. So I'm going to select my right plane. This was already populated. The preview looks good. The preview shows here partial. I think it defaults to partial. The full preview just shows what we're mirroring or what is populated here. So this looks pretty good. I'm going to say yes. And we're well on our way. From here, it's kind of important that the next move you make is the larger feature shown. And I did update the drawing, and it shows a radius of 100 thousandths, 8 places. I'm going to tilt this slightly, and I'm going to start, again, not from the Sketch tab, but from the Features tab with a fillet. And this blue box now is asking me to populate with edge, faces, features, and loops. And before I do this, make sure this is the correct value. You don't always have to make sure this is the correct value, but if it does not, if it makes what's called a disjointed body, sometimes it might be too small for you to see. Sometimes it's too large for it to execute that pattern correctly. So it's always a good idea to maybe change the fillet size prior to selecting the entities. But now I'm going to select my entities as edges. In this case, and in most of these cases, I would not select faces. You oftentimes can get what you think might look like a good result, and you learn over time where you could select a face as opposed to selecting an edge. So I'm going to select this edge, this edge, this edge, this edge. We can also select transparent. In this case, it's pretty difficult to get to it. But you can select, you can see transparent here through the part. Let me rotate this just slightly and see. Here it is. Can I get to this edge over here? Ah, there it is. This edge. This is, with this other one here, this would be 7 edges. No, 8 edges. 7 edges. But I actually need to pick an 8th, and that would be this edge here. Boop. It's pretty important that we do this larger edge. The preview looks good. It's important we do this larger fillet before we do the smaller fillets on this particular assignment. Selected yes, and that looks pretty good. Now for the last fillet, I'm going to select again from the Features tab, Fillet. I'm going to change this back off the drawing. This is going to be 0.0325. And this one's kind of cool because I can actually select the face. Oh, I selected through. Transparent, and I didn't even notice, but that's correct. So both faces in this instance. And you can also select this edge, and it will propagate tangent to whatever edge you're selecting here. So it ends up going all the way around this arc to the end here. I'm going to do it also on this side as well as this side. And this looks pretty good. The preview looks great. I think in this instance you could also, if I actually deleted these, let me show you something else here which goes faster. But again, similar to last week's assignment, this may make it more difficult to edit later. I'm going to select this face. And it actually does a really good job. You can just select that face. Because these edges are on this face, it does all of these 4 fillets around. And this is good. This is I have one edge in here, and I'm not sure why I have that edge. What's that edge? Oh, it selected the first one as an edge, not as a face, but that's okay. It gave me different options and selected it different options, but the result is good. Oh, there's one more I missed, and it is on the drawing. Make sure. It might be a little bit hard to see based on the pictorial view and based on how SolidWorks displays their edges on the drawings. But if I go back through and I edit, I'm going to add, I can add again as a cylinder or as this edge and this edge. I'm going to say yes. And there are fillets on the edges of the holes on both sides of this part. But this part looks good. This is what I'm asking to turn in. These are worth only 5 points. They're pretty easy to do. We will be using these later in the assembly. That'll be another assignment later on towards the end of the semester. But we had an option to have a partial book, so I decided to do these this week. It's kind of good because we're doing 4 different parts, even though they're really easy. And then next week I'll have an extra credit assignment along with our regular assignment that also will be from the book. Thank you very much. See you next week.